Hello and welcome to this section on analytic functions. Analytic functions are also referred to as window functions. What are analytic functions? Analytic functions are functions that will compute an aggregate value based on a group of rows. They are similar to aggregate functions, but the key difference between analytic functions and aggregate functions is that, unlike aggregate functions, they can return multiple rows for each group, while aggregate function returns a single result. So that's the key difference between a window or analytic function and an aggregate function. The term window basically describes the set of rows on which the window function operates. So a window function will return a value from the rows in a window. A window function also performs a calculation across a set of table rows that are somehow related to the current window. So just to summarize, a window or analytic function will compute an aggregate value based on a group of rows and can return multiple rows, in comparison to aggregate functions that will compute but return only a single value. Let's take a look at a typical syntax for a window or analytic function. So this is what the syntax looks like, and I'll try and explain as much as I can. The window, so we have the window function, and then we have the arguments, first argument, second argument. So this is the window function. You can use any built-in or user-defined aggregate function as a window function. In addition to that, you can use PostgreSQL built-in window functions. So PostgreSQL has some built-in functions such as row number, rank, dense rank, and so on. I'll be explaining that in the next slide. And here we've got the over clause. The over basically is very instrumental. This is what makes the whole thing analytic. So what the over does, it determines the partitioning and the ordering of a row set before the associated window function is applied. All right. So the over clause defines a window or user-specific set of rows within a query result set. Yeah, and then the window function will compute a value for each row in the window. The partition by here, this partition by is basically used to divide the rows into groups or partitions. If you omit the partition by clause, what will happen is that the whole result set is then treated as a single partition. So if you want to partition things or divide things, best to use the partition by, or the function will treat everything as a single partition. Next here we have the order by here. This order by clause basically is used to sort the rows within a partition. So what happens? The window function will process the rows in the order specified by the order by clause, especially for the window functions that are sensitive to the order. Okay, because there are windows functions such as the first underscore value and the last underscore value and so on. So if you have windows functions like that, then the order by is important in the expression. So let's take a look at some common Windows or analytic functions. We'll be covering each of them in separate lectures. I just want to highlight them here. So we've got the row number, we've got the rank, we've got the dense rank, the first value, the last value, and then we've got the lag and the lead functions. So we'll be covering them in separate lectures. Thank you so much for your time. Take care and bye for now.